All right, we are live. It has been a little bit of a hiatus. It's been kind of a crazy week for both of us, but we are finally back with Live After Hours with Alex and Anthony. Excited to be back, and we should be able to get a lot of these in coming up until you go to Aruba, unless you want to do one from there.
That'd be interesting. Do it there.
It would be fun doing from the beach, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But that being said, tonight's going to be a fun one. We're talking about a bunch of different topics tonight. One of them is really about how we're sort of making one of our side projects free and how to monetize that, and it should be a lot of fun. So, and you're really the one that came up with this topic. So I don't know if you want to kind of give us an idea of what we're doing tonight.
Yeah. So let's just for people who don't know kind of the idea behind making something free to make more money. I think we mentioned Russell Brunson a couple episodes ago. And hold on, I just got to get my screen back here. I was just sharing that on Facebook. So Russell has two books. You actually introduced me to the first one, which was .com Secrets. Awesome book, a very interesting read for people who are building business and doing marketing businesses. But recently he launched his second book, which is Expert Secrets. So I haven't actually really dove into this one yet. I got it a couple days ago, and I meant to sit down that night and read it. And unfortunately, things have just been a little crazy. But planning on doing some reading on that tonight. But one of the concepts that Russell teaches, and you know this, is obviously how to get people into your funnel, right? So you got to have either a free offer or a free plus shipping offer. And really what you're doing is you're getting people in with what he calls bait, right? So whether that's a free report or, free template for certain things, stuff like that. So, we were talking about that. What did we call it today? Yesterday we decided that we were going to do this, right? It might have been the day before.
Yesterday, day before, a few days ago, a couple days ago.
And so me and Alex started a side project called A Social Strategy back in, I guess we started building it in September-ish, and we launched it in December-ish.
November. We launched it at NAR in November, beginning of November, 2nd,
right,
3rd,
November,
something like that.
Yeah. So for people who are using it, they know kind of what it does, and it's it's the when, what, and how of social media. I'm not going to give a whole thing about it, but anyway, so because the side project for ours, it's not something that we're both able to really focus on doing. So we had this discussion yesterday about how powerful it really is and how we wish we had even more people in the system, kind of utilizing the hacks that we've done for people. So what we decided to do was, build out a funnel that starts with this completely free app. So right now the app is, it's free in the App Store, but you do have to pay for the service itself. So we're not exactly sure on a time frame, just because it is a side project, obviously, when that's all going to happen. But we're thinking about 60 to 90 days from now, this will convert to a totally free project. But when when we talk about stuff, and you kind of know how I am, and I know you're very similar. Yesterday you were traveling back from Canada, but so I'm sitting here yesterday, and after our discussion, I was like, maybe we really can use this as a really cool piece of bait, and how would we be able to print money out of it by giving away this free thing, right? So I'm sitting there last night, and I'm writing all these notes, about a 3-page worth of notes. And I'm like, you know what? I need to visualize this. I need to see what the funnel's going to look like to figure out what's missing and how it is. So last night, this is what was done. And I don't know if you can see that. So basically what this is this is a funnel that starts with a free app. And now this is interesting because and Alex, again, you know this. One of the cool parts about a funnel and the way it works is you capture people's information, right? You capture their cell phone numbers, their email addresses, and you're able to kind of market them other types of products. But A Social Strategy is really unique because we get information out of our bait product that most people don't get when they're starting out one of these bait offers, right? So because you log in with either Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or Pinterest, we get a lot of profile information from these people. So not only going to get email address, but we're also going to get phone numbers, and we're going to get even in some cases locations that they're in. And the cool part for us is we can build a lot of automation that surrounds the information we get without actually having to ask people for it. All they're doing is clicking a button that says, log into Facebook. or log into Twitter. And, the profiles give us that information without them really having to do very much. So I had a couple ideas, and I think we should probably discuss through them. But obviously the app being the free part of it, I think that's got to lead into a couple different email pieces, right? Or whether it's text message pieces as well, we can discuss that. But I really think there's kind of two emails that need to go out within the hour of someone signing up. First one, obviously, being a welcoming email. Hey, welcome to ASOS Strategy. Right. This is what we do.
Hold on. And I think before we do that, we can even give some folks a little bit more background there, because what we're really talking about here is what they call a value ladder, right? Where you start somebody on something that's free and you're giving them something of value that's free, and then you work them upward toward maybe a product that's not a lot of money, but it's a very basic product. And then the more and more they start using your services and liking your services and so on, the more upward movement of services makes sense. And at each upward move, you are increasing prices because you're providing more value, right? It's a bigger service, a full out kind of service. So we started thinking about it in that sense as to what would our sort of upward products be? What could, upsells from a basic social media tool be? And one kind of came naturally, which was we've been getting a lot of requests from people to do Facebook ads for them. That was one where, it just sort of fell in our lap, and we went, oh, wow, yeah, okay, we're getting enough requests from people coming to us saying, I've heard about you doing it with so-and-so or whatever it is, that we sort of thought that made sense. The other one is, and this is one we had a while ago, is we give away a free social media checkup. And that was sort of one of the bait items as an upsell to this $9 a month product. But we had a more robust version of that where you'd sit down and actually go through all the profiles and how to fix them and all those sorts of things. Certain parts of that we can automate, which is really nice, but other pieces of it require a person to sort of sit down with them and go over it.
Right.
So those are sort of two I know that we talked about. I'm sure you've had a dozen other ideas in terms of what we're upselling people to. So I'm going to let you go in that range, but I just want to give folks an idea as to sort of where we're going before we dive into marketing all of them.
Absolutely. The first thing I obviously thought of was, right now ASOS Strategy is a $9 a month product. $108 a year over 12 months. So obviously, whatever the upsells are, have to recoup at least that on a yearly basis, and hopefully we can make more profit from that. Right? We're in business to make money here. But with that being said, in order to continue to quote unquote print money, we have to give people stuff that they really want, right? So like you said before, the very high end of our value ladder is going to be us doing Facebook ads for people, right? Us doing Google AdWords for people, us doing Twitter ads for people. And really any kind of ad product they want, right? Ads realistically go across any platform as long as you know how to use them and how to use those platforms properly. We can really do any of them. But with that being said, so many people today want to be able to do Facebook ads and Twitter ads and LinkedIn ads and all these things. But what I think the training and even the tools that are available to them, Slack, there's no real template for these people to say, okay, I have any type of business, and what I can do is if I had someone who gave me 3 kind of ideas on how to structure an ad, then that would be something that I can maybe use for myself. And maybe you wouldn't be able to convert perfectly with them, but at least you kind of get a taste of how these ads kind of work. So one of the things I thought of was doing templates for each different social media avenue. So Twitter ads, LinkedIn ads, Facebook ads, and Google AdWords, right? Giving basic templates, kind of using the neuro-linguistic programming in order to say, hey, listen, you're going to insert, depending on your type of business, you're going to insert this this solution or what it solves, whatever it is, and kind of lay out 3 ads for each different network, right? And I don't know. Again, I don't know what pricing is going to be, but I'm thinking that there's going to be 4 different levels. So again, you can select one. Like, let's say you just want Facebook ads, you can just get that, or if you just want Google AdWords, you could just get that. But then obviously, if you buy all 4 together, then you'd get it, maybe for the price of 2 of them by getting all of them to kind of give someone a real incentive to get all 4 of them.
You know what I think would make sense if we're going to go that route, which you might even be able to sort of make it even more of a package and more of a product as opposed to consulting, which is include the bait item in the package. Like if say we're going to pick real estate, right?
No.
These ads that ideally we should be driving to people for real estate,
right,
should be saying, I mean, in an ideal world, they're saying, click here to go download this free report or,
sure,
get this whatever kind of a thing. What if we gave them the free report with it?
Yeah, I mean, that makes total sense. Especially we already have kind of reports done. Obviously, in certain industries, we might need to make a couple more reports for them. But sure, that's certainly something else there. My only concern with giving more free stuff away is we're not really building them through the ladder, right? Like we can just in an email say, hey, by the way, here's also this free report.
I don't mean free bait. I mean, when they buy the Facebook ad, Google ad, whatever, they're buying a package that's already built.
Right.
The 3 ads are going to that one piece of bait. Their job is to then go put that bait on their website.
Sure. Yeah, that's actually a great idea. Yeah, that way we can actually.
You can, right, so then all the ads are written directly towards that piece of bait. You don't have to rewrite all 3 ads every time as a consulting kind of a thing. It's like, no, we know that these ads driving towards this type of report or this whatever is successful. Let's just keep replicating it kind of a thing.
I like it. Okay, then from there, so that would be step kind of 2 of the funnel, goes app to templates. Then I was thinking an additional upsell for 2 versions of a soap opera sequence. Okay, and for people who don't know what a soap opera sequence is, it's either a 5-day or 30-day, and you can really make them go for as long as you want. And what they are is they're storytelling emails, and they're designed to build trust between you and the customer or the client that's there. So what I was thinking of doing is giving 2 different versions of that, right? Doing a 5-day soap opera sequence. And again, they'd have to do some templating in there. And then giving either a 15 or a 30-day soap opera sequence as well. Or maybe we do both. Maybe it's a 5, a 15, and a 30. But this way, they kind of have their back end automated email going out for pretty much any industry. And I think for a lot of people, I think people have difficulty writing these emails. So if we templated them out for people, I think it might be something that's a nice little upsell in addition to the ads.
I think it's a nice upsell product for something, but I don't think it fits us.
You don't think it's that? Okay.
No, because I mean, we're dealing so much in the social media world that, and I mean, we both know how valuable the whole follow-up system is, but that would be an upsell for MailChimp. Right, or Constant Contact, or even a CRM tool who uses email and like blast email kind of stuff. I feel like for us, it's kind of, I don't know, it just doesn't quite fit our model or what people sort of know us as experts of. Right?
Yeah, I mean, sure, but I do think
if you wanted to include it as part of, say, let's say the final package in all of this is, you and I as a consultant were to come in and you on behalf of your company, me on behalf of AIC, and come in and go, okay, we're going to help revamp whatever for X piece of your business. Like give us 20% or 30% of your business and we'll come in and revamp the whole thing kind of a thing. I don't know. I mean, if it's part of that, like, sure, maybe then we're providing email templates and stuff like that, but it seems kind of out of scope.
Okay, let me just circle that. So we'll table that for now. Okay, and then I was also thinking, so the other thing was obviously, actually providing funnels for things, right? So we know not only how to build a funnel, but we know what funnels are going to work, right? So we can actually people, not only for the ads, we provide them with that bait item, right? But we can also offer, and again, I don't know whether there's a bait item for people, maybe to get them on a webinar or whatnot, but maybe build out, like, and just as an example, like for real estate agents, right? If real estate agents are using this for social media, we might be able to provide a buyer funnel and a seller's funnel. And all they have to do is plug in maybe their town or their county or their state, whatever they want, right? And they can replicate that funnel 100 times. But I think there's a couple different avenues that there's revenue streams for us, right? So not only can we sell those funnels, but also we can, we can actually have them working off of the funnel system that we use. So there's affiliate commissions involved in there as well. Now I don't know if that's something that we want to even go towards, but I do think, if we're helping them basically start the beginning of their funnel by helping them create ads and helping them create copy for it, I think it might be smart to also offer the funnel piece so that there's somewhere for those people to go after the fact.
Or at least have someone we can refer them to.
Sure, absolutely.
I mean, we talked about that in terms of the whole like coaching model too, right? Like we've talked about, because at some level you and I don't have time. This is still a side project for both of us, right? And the moment you start getting into having to manually do stuff, that becomes
right,
time intensive and so on. I'm kind of trying to think of what can we very much productize, right? Like make into surefire, sell over and over again kind of products. I think the social media checkup kind of thing that we talked about, like the, half an hour or 2 hour, whatever they upsell on that one, I think makes a lot of sense as maybe our first upsell.
Okay.
I think Facebook ads are probably a good, business upsell for us. And I think there's probably 2 levels of the ads, actually. There's the base product level of the ads that we talked about, right? Because we just said, like, well, if we package them with bait, then we can just, do our own. I would say that's our base level. And then there's an upper level consulting level that's like, okay, you want us to do custom ads for you. That's our next value up. So now all of a sudden we have 3 money-making products on top of the free product.
Right. I actually saw 2 additional steps to this, right? So you're absolutely right. The next part of it, kind of this free, we'll run your ads for you kind of consulting. We won't talk numbers on this, but let's say it costs, let's say it costs $5 a month, okay, for that to happen. Instead of actually charging that full number, what we can do is do something like, because it's risk-free, you can either pay $2.50 for the first month, and then it's going to be the full price after that, or for life, you can pay $3.75. So kind of giving the option to say, okay, well, I can get involved for cheaper today, but then it's going to cost me more in the long run, or I can take them up on this offer. It's still risk-free, right? And I can get it at this price for life, which I thought was an interesting little twist. And then obviously the highest level of it all, I don't even skipped a page in my notebook, would basically be, a consulting for scale, where, we would go in and we do, like you said, the soap opera sequence and building the ads and building basically the entire automation for their business. Now, I don't know how involved we actually want to get with that, but again, I just saw that as the highest level of the funnel. I don't even know if that's something we want to even advertise to start with, but I think it's something that we should consider long term, just because, I think that's the kind of the direction. I think there's opportunity there for people.
We're already sort of getting asked to do it, right? I mean, twice now. In fact, today, funny enough, someone else, realtor, and we won't mention any of the names of anyone, but really, a realtor today called me who said that she's starting her own brokerage, and she already has a set of agents, needs the full website, CRM. I was like, what are you guys gonna use for email? I don't know. What are you guys gonna use for this, that, the other? And they're like right at that stage of kind of talking, and after I asked her, she's like, I'm coming to you. I called you. That's where I'm going.
Right.
So yeah.
Interesting. So, but yeah. So
I could see it.
And then there's what?
I said I could see it.
Yeah. So there's also a whole nother end to this funnel, right? So that was the kind of immediate email notification. When they sign up, it's like, hey, we also have these things. If you're interested, click here, and it walks them through that entire part of the funnel, right? But I also think there's an opportunity for ever webinars here. And for those of you who don't know what an EverWebinar is, it's a webinar that's done live, but it's then automated over and over again. And kind of the idea would be to do a couple different things, right? So I came up with a bunch, 6 specific webinars actually that I think can be done and I think would actually be beneficial for ASOL strategy. So one is obviously a training webinar, right? Like, hey, hop on this. This is how it works. This is how you can do it. Mm-hmm. And that's a webinar that I don't even see another sell after that. I think that's just a general basic webinar. Here's how to use it. If you have questions, come back anytime to look at it. And we would update that, once every couple of months as we added new features and stuff like that. But then I saw these other ones, right? So, and if we're not handling we're not going to be doing the soap opera sequence one. Maybe there's actually 5 here because the MailChimp was actually one of them and how to use email properly. But I saw a Twitter webinar, a Facebook webinar, a Google AdWords webinar, and a general social media webinar where, and obviously in the Facebook, Twitter, Google AdWords, we would talk specifically about those things. In the social media one, it would be more of an overall like, hey, these are all the types of, advertising that's out there. It'd obviously be a little less in depth, but people would get their feet wet in each individual one. And then from those, you would then get the upsells to the same templates, for either the specific webinars or for all 3 or 4 if you're in the social media webinar. And then again, down to the risk-free trial with the 2 versions of us doing their AdWords for them.
Okay. It makes sense. I think I'm trying to think of how we work somebody from one to the other.
So ideally, I think what happens is they start out with the ASOL strategy webinar, right? I feel like that's kind of the, in that welcome area, it's like here, sign up. We're running a webinar at the end of the hour, at the top of the next hour. Sign up for this webinar, watch it when you can. And then from that webinar is kind of, after they've watched it, they kind of get that, hey, listen, we discussed some of these things in the webinar. Here are individual webinars that discuss all of those things. So I think it becomes, if someone's really not interested in learning about the platform, chances are they're not going to be working up our value ladder anyway. But the person who puts in the time to learn about the platform, use it, and is really trying to develop their social strategy, I think is going to care about what we have to say about social media, Google AdWords, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, all these things, Google AdWords. I think that they're going to care and they're going to want to watch those webinars, especially if they're struggling to advertise and get more clients by using those avenues of social media.
Sure. Okay. Makes sense.
So, actually, let me. Just add another phone step. Well, because like I said, from the social media one, then comes those 5, so that drops down a level there. And I think maybe in that email, even when we say, hey, here's the training, we could even mention like, hey, we have specific trainings or webinars for these items as well. Or maybe that's a 24-hour later email or a week later email. I don't know how we should do it necessarily, but I think I think building it to have all these things kind of being touched on constantly is kind of where it's at.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm just sort of trying to think about how from and I think you're right. It's obviously sort of the demographic thing. Like the people that are using the tool are more likely to be, say, running ads or running things like that. I'm just wondering if there's a way we can make it where it's run ads in tandem somehow, or that makes sense related to what they're already doing. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, for platform, that makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
Once a company starts using a social platform to recommend content to all the employees underneath,
right.
And all, everybody that works there, then the company makes sense to do a straight upsell to.
I wasn't even thinking about platform when I was making this. That's a whole, I guess we'd call that a sign.
Need a bigger whiteboard.
I do. I have this little.
Actually,
who buys a whiteboard?
Enough, no, hold on. Check this out. Funny enough, so you see where the blind is drawn there behind, so I don't get all the crazy backlight. So I'm gonna get an easel I'm gonna set it up
Nice.
in a little easel in that corner, and I'm gonna do a big whiteboard
I
on
like
the
it.
easel, right? And
I like
like right there. That's gonna be
like
the other backdrop for that
I actually bought
over
like
the shoulder.
I bought on Amazon what it was huge. It was like this huge way. It was like, $20 or something like that, right? And I get it. And it's like a wall sticker. And I was like, really? Who wants a wall sticker? So it's still rolled up in the corner over here. I was like, oh my God, it's such a good deal. I can't believe it. And just
Yeah,
wasn't.
because it's not really a whiteboard. Be leery of great deals. Yeah, but I think platform makes a lot of sense too. That's another natural upsell from a social
Right.
strategy is like, hey, get everybody coordinated from your company to do this, and boy,
You want
look
to
at
give
the
a quick
power you'll all
overview?
have together.
You want to give a quick overview just of platform for anybody who's listening to it?
Sure. So our asocial strategy tool, what it really does is it tells you when to post. It sends you a notice that says, hey, it's time to post. It then gives you the top shared articles within the last 3 to 5 days, which sort of I don't want to say tricks, but Facebook is very kind about putting those into top stories. And then you can click and it recommends hashtags. So it'll give you the best trending hashtags related to the content. What we wanted to do though, and that will get you to show up in front of more people in top stories and so on. What we wanted to do though was give companies a way to really coordinate all of their staff sharing the same content at the same time so that they get much more of a reach. So on top of asocial strategy, which now we're talking about making free, which is where we started, we have this other tool called Asocial Platform, which will allow people, anyone from say a company to a social media manager to whoever, to instead of just managing it for that business page and for the company, actually manage it to the extent of recommending content out to the people that work for them to then get them to share it. And those folks will get it in the same notices and so on as asocial strategy. So that's our, sort of take on the platform. We call it Asocial Platform, and it's our upsell and our sort of company solution for asocial strategy. And yeah, I guess that gives sort of the overview as to what it is, but I see it as being that very natural upsell to.
Well, it is. It works especially for small businesses, which I would think is really our target market.
Right.
The person who has under 50 employees, let's say, whether it's 5 or 10, and they really want to coordinate. They're doing video blogs or regular blogs, so they just have great content they want their followers to see. The people working for them being able to say, hey guys, post this. This is a great article. Is very natural for pretty much any small business to want to do.
You want to give that away too?
What? No,
what?
We're not giving them. No, well, but like we talked about.
I'm clearly joking.
I know. But I think that it becomes less prohibitive for a company to actually sign up for platform, because now they sign up for platform and they don't also have to pay for their employees' asocial strategy accounts, right? So for us, it's about, the business to business sale. And then all these upsells are really designed for the end user. Right. So,
right.
And I'm sure some businesses will also use them, but these are really for that person who maybe is really just starting a small business or really just needs to get going and be guided in the right direction. So giving these templates, I think, is going to be great for not only the businesses, but I think for the individual consumer as well. I think they're going to get a lot out of it.
I agree. And then I think the Facebook ads thing is a very natural upsell from that, because let's be honest, most of the folks that are running ads at this point are we know a few agents, but it's mostly businesses at this point, brokerages or teams that are running ads consistently at this point.
Yeah, there's definitely a few companies out there that are doing this for agents, but the control for the agent isn't there, right? It's not done on the agent's ad accounts. It's all through the company, so they can't monitor spend. They can't adjust spend. If they have an ad that takes off, they can't say, well, I'm spending $5 a day.
Right.
I want to spend $100 a day. It's just not that simple for them. But I think the solution for the way we do it, where we have, it's their ad account and they have access and they can turn it on, turn it off, do the whole deal. I think gives them a lot of added control while also, really moving them in the right direction. Like we will build the ads, we'll do all those things. I think that they'll I think they'll get great results. I mean, the people we've done it for are getting good results. So, can't complain there.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing is the videos. Did you even include those in the upsells?
No.
Okay,
So
this is why we talk.
this is definitely.
So one of our things that we've done is you've seen for Asocial Strategy, we've done a lot of the GoAnimate.com sort of videos, animated videos that do everything from tutorials to upsells to, we were doing sort of 2-minute videos on things you need to know about social media kind of stuff, your questions answered, things like that. And a lot of people really like them. Plus, Anthony happens to have a voice for radio, so it makes it kind of ideal. But we're able to, in a reasonably quick manner, create and record videos that go along with the Facebook ads that are really kind of more converting and so on than a lot of the other sort of ad copy and ad things that we've run. Like having that video content along with your ads, especially on Facebook at this point, they're getting picked up so much more conversion. So, we saw that and we said, well, the few people that have come to us and said, hey, can you help us with X, Y, or Z? And you've mostly done it. But we did some video content for them, and I think they came out really well, or they think they came out really well. But that's another whole product. I mean, that's
yeah.
And actually, there's a ton of margin. I mean, what we even charged for them for the whole package that we did, like that, came up with is probably even low for doing it.
Well, yeah, obviously we knew him for a long time. We're not trying to kill him, and
right, clearly. But
here's the thing, though. Like, we obviously have that advantage because we've done this. So it's not like we're learning to do it or anything like that. We are. Alexa just started playing something in the other room. Alexa, stop. Hold on one sec. I gotta go turn that off. She's crazy.
That's hysterical.
I have no idea how that happened. It just started. And like, oh, now playing this. That was great. Sorry about that.
That's really funny.
All right. Yeah, so the videos are interesting, though, because you're right. Obviously, they do perform better. Facebook loves video, right? Just in general. And the Facebook video can perform 1,000 times better.
Right. Well, and let's be honest here. For the quality we're getting, we've kind of gotten lucky in that, you and I, for our businesses anyway, already own professional mics.
Right.
And you and I, for our businesses anyway, already have quiet spaces that we can do recordings from.
Right.
And, so like the companies out there that are having to do video, and we probably would over time to replicate it. But like, they'd have to get a voiceover person and studio time and somebody to edit it and somebody to manage the whole thing and all that sort of stuff. When in reality, that we can just sort of do it together. So, and you're able to do it by yourself, even to some extent.
Here's what I'm thinking. Where do we put that? Does that become only part of if we're running ads, or does that become a product before the ads, and then it's like if you get the ads, we'll also do a couple, 1, 2, whatever it is, as part of it?
I'd probably include it as one of the upsells. Like,
here's my question.
Not upsells, but I mean the base package doesn't. What?
Do it as a downsell. Why don't we do it as the run ads, right? And then if they click no thank you, then it's okay. Do you want us to do video for you?
Video is usually more expensive.
What'd you say?
Video is usually more expensive.
You think so?
People pay money for video, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the after.
No, what I'm thinking is we include it as part of the package with the upsell ads,
Gotcha.
where it's like not only do you get custom ad work with us, but you also get videos because we know that's the best converting stuff if we're going to take the time to do this custom work. And then maybe the downsell, maybe the downsell is it without the videos. It's like, oh, you don't want the videos too? Do you want us to just do the ads without the video content and have some sort of downsell from that?
Let me get package. So then, okay. Got it.
Scott saying.
What's up, Scott? Interesting. I think you're right, though. I mean, I take for granted how we do those videos because we tend not to spend, 10 hours on them. But you're right. People do pay big money for video. I do think that needs to be included as part of the thing.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of where I'm at too. I mean, it's,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
It's all valuable, right?
Yeah, and obviously, the videos they get to use in other marketing too, right? They don't necessarily only have to use them on Facebook. They can use them anywhere they want as long as they're produced. Interesting. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
I mean, maybe there are some stock ones for the, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the other part.
Like packaged ones at the beginning. If we have like stock ones, I don't know.
I think we'd probably have to do is we'd have to probably go. There's 7 basic industries, right? We probably have to produce 3 videos per industry. But even that wouldn't work because, like, even service, right? Service is going to go to restaurant as service or gym as service. It's like it would be too difficult to do videos for every single industry.
Yeah, but I think once we're getting into ads for people and trying to make it a product, we've got to go industry.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I'm just thinking about, like you said, like doing more basic videos and then custom videos for that specific company or brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll have to cross that as it goes. But I think there is also a spot for custom video in general being in there so that they can, let's say they don't want us to run their ads, right? But they just want us to produce content for them. I think there's an opportunity for that there too.
Sure. I'm just kind of wondering how much consulting there is going to be, is going to end up in this. Like, I don't want to have 12 million consulting services. You know what I mean? No, I mean, really, I don't want to I don't.
We want to automate everything until the high ticket, the second to last high ticket, right? We got the high ticket for us doing ads and then the one high ticket to build the business, right? But with that being said, if we can come up with stock videos as a product, then that's just one additional upsell before we take over the ads.
I mean, we could do.
Here's what I'm trying to figure out. How do we make generic enough videos?
Here's what we do. All right. So the products that we're making for the ads for the ones that are pre-done are going to be industry specific, right? Where they get a bait item and then Google AdWords and then Facebook ads for it, let's say, right? That's the package. Right. And it's done over and over. What if an upsell from that is the corresponding video?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly where that is in the funnel.
So it's oh, you bought the ads package about this, for an additional whatever, $99, you can get the video that really makes it convert. And then you run a whole sequence at them talking about, why video makes people convert and how powerful video is with ads and all of that sort of stuff. And then the sequence ends with the upsell to, to a video, the corresponding video. And then the upsell after that is we'll also get a whole ads package where you're doing custom stuff that comes with videos.
Right.
And
But
then the
now-
downsell is,
But it puts us in the same position, right? Like, how do we? I mean, I guess we're going to be targeting.
if we're going to do pre-done ads where we have them like out of the box with a bait item, we're already targeting industry.
Right. That's what I was just thinking. We're already targeting those people to get on anyway. So they're starting. We already know the industry they're in because we've just targeted.
Mm-hmm.
What becomes our most profitable industry? Which one? Take a guess.
Immediately or over time?
Over time, like what long term? What do you think the most profitable one's going to be?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either. I want to say something like, like the digital marketing guys, right? Because they can all use this. But I feel like the egos between them make them say, no, I could do this better myself, right?
Probably.
I don't know. I don't know who becomes
Scott says it's going to be real estate.
always real estate. Always real. We'll see.
I love it.
It's funny.
I think he's probably right with the number of connections and all that sort of stuff we have. It's going to be really hard to get as entrenched and like into another industry as, say, we are here.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, that overlaps though, because mortgage obviously pays big bucks for everything. Yeah. The siren song of real estate.
Scott and I have talked about that before, actually. It's so true. Well, and it makes sense for a lot of different reasons, right? It's one of those industries that people that are doing it well make pretty good money at it, right? Beyond that, it's a bunch of businesses within businesses within
Right.
businesses within businesses, right? There's like so many tiers to real estate. You can capitalize and market and so on to all the different levels within. There's all sorts of reasons for it, but yeah, a lot of opportunity. Absolutely.
Jeez, I'm just looking at this. This is going to be fun to
Pretty
build.
pretty intense little funnel there, huh?
Yeah, you know what? It's better that we see it all up front, though.
Right. Plan it out and build it.
Direction to go in the right way. Let me actually do this. So,
as the bells go. So, what are we going to keep doing to get people to a social strategy? Just go to everybody we know and say, hey, it's free?
Yeah, I think once it's ready, I feel like that's kind of the move. And obviously we have, a bunch of partners already, and I think that we explained to them the back end of it and how there's, still opportunity for them and give them a reason to still push it. But I also think that, building a user base in any business it's the hardest part, right? Like I did it with AM Open House by offering a free product for nearly 3 years. And then when I turned it into a paid product, a lot of people were like, oh, okay, great. I don't mind paying this amount of money for the year or for the month. So I think similarly in this, we get the opportunity, which I didn't do in AM Open House because I didn't have the knowledge that I have now. But I wish I would have built different types of funnels then to make money even on the free app then. There was so many things I could have done that I didn't. But I think in this way, we're not actually going to be hurting ourselves here. I think that even over the short term, I think there's going to be much more revenue coming in because we're providing so much more value, right? We're giving great. The app itself is great, but now we're saying, hey, listen, you're obviously interested in social media and being better at it. Here's all the other shit that we can help you with, right?
Right.
So I think long term, maybe even short term, we're going to provide so much extra value that it's going to be a huge revenue positive for us.
I think it makes sense, and I think, what realtor doesn't like free, right?
Oh, Oh, the good old adage.
Who doesn't like free? I mean, it's kind of. I mean, on the one hand, it's kind of true, right? Um, but I think we'd probably end up making more on those upsells than we could as and platform than we could as individual users.
Yeah, I also agree because obviously with individual users, we've even seen it, right? There's tons of support that has to go on because there's not that there's errors, but there's like, people don't get certain things. And I think by building the webinars and building all these things where we walk people through the process, I think it's going to alleviate so much of that. And obviously, if we can automate everything all up until the high ticket item,
right. Right. I mean, the ads stuff, I mean, you can't really automate getting access to their account and putting the ads in for them or stuff like that. I mean, there's some ways to do it, but it's not necessarily the easiest thing to build.
But even so, that's high ticket, right? When we're building ads for them, that's high ticket. So I don't mind spending 30 minutes on the phone with them, walking them through it, because then once that happens, then we're on a high ticket monthly and we're just moving forward. They don't have to do anything. They can email us, call us, whatever. But it's kind of a set it and forget it for them. They do it once for us and that's it. And they can go in. They don't have to call us for reports or any of these things. It's all there for them to see.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Huh.
So yeah, so probably more towards that 90-day window.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this became a really big funnel really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of knew that was going to happen. We've talked about it for so long around asocial in general that it kind of made sense. But also, for those folks watching, as a quick little side note, even though the website says $9, if you go today, sign up, it's free. It just skips past the Stripe registration and you don't have to put in your credit card or anything like that. So, little secret, thanks for watching. But you can go over there and sign up. It is free. Check it out. Have fun. So just something to sort of think about. So, what do we want? What are we building first? What's the next?
Yeah, you got a good one tonight.
Yeah, I do.
So we kind of go two ways with it, and I don't really care which way we go. I'd say we either build all the webinars or build out the funnel. We're going to need them both, but I'd rather focus on one or the other, not going back and forth.
Because we can convert on emails before we have a webinar, but not vice versa.
I think personally, I think we build out the ad templates first, only because we can start. Like you said, we could start the email sequence, and I think we can get that out quicker than doing 5 45-minute webinars with the amount of graphics and time and everything that's going to be there. I do think those need to get done, but I think realistically, the revenue generation from the ad templates is going to be where we want to focus to start.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like, funny enough, it seems like kind of a perfect sort of integration with what we were talking about doing with Agent Inner Circle. Because we were talking about making asocial one of the free Agent Inner Circle tools as part of the community there. And it's that group really likes that sort of we're going to give you the whole package, the bait items you can put on your website, the ads that are going to drive them to it, those sorts of things where you can kind of give them that whole package. So I think especially in terms of that would make a lot of sense. And, it's going to probably end up giving a lot of rev share back toward AIC and that sort of stuff on the conversions. So, yeah, happy camper there.
Cool. Awesome.
What's next?
Oh, I don't even know. My head is like hurting thinking about doing all this.
I know. And this is like one of 3 or 4 rebuilds I'm doing right now. So
good times.
Yeah, fun times. Yeah. We're doing we're gonna do the whole funnel for 3 steps too. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's.
Well, I mean, it's kind of already there, but
Gotta clean it up a bit.
Clean it up a bit, rebuild it a little bit, give it a little love, a little TLC.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Huh.
So, all right. Yeah. All right. Let's talk again later or tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll kind of clean this up again on paper, and
Yep.
we'll see how we want to. We'll see how we want to attack this. But I think we're definitely on the right path for where we want to go. Housekeeping, real quick: liveafterhours.com. Download the podcast. Sign up for the newsletter. Liveafterhours.com.
Yep. Everything's there. Check it out. Have fun. Thanks to everybody who joined tonight. I know we're both a little exhausted tonight. I can so feel it. I'm just like, oh God. Mondays are long for both of us, but we're excited to get back and going this week. Tomorrow we're going to come back with probably a little bit of a different topic. So definitely stay tuned for that. I know you're around tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'll be around.
Yeah. Okay. So we're back tomorrow night, live after hours with Alex and Anthony. Thanks for joining, and have a good night.
Later.